European Super League is an absolute disgrace and destroys everything I've known and loved about football. Welcome guys to the channel today. I am not in a good mood whatsoever. I was actually awake when I saw the news released at 11 o'clock last night. It may have been half 11, that the European Super League has been approved and organised by 12 founding members. And my own team, Chelsea Football Club, is one of those members. I am unfathomable in terms of what I can say here. I'm just absolutely speechless. I'm trying not to edit this video as much as I can because I want this video to be out quickly. But I can even see from the camera, my eyes are literally glinting, just like in sheer disappointment. I am absolutely flabbergasted that Chelsea Football Club, the team that I've known, you know, who've been battling non-hard to keep to their history, a team that, you know, it doesn't have the prettiest of history. We've been relegated up to 3 to 4 times. We've got relegated in 1989. We had to fight bloody hard to get right to the top. And right now, we think it's fair that a team like us can be invincible and immune from all of that to move away to an entirely closed shop league with up to 11 founding members, 3 more additions, and 5 more teams getting qualifications to it. I cannot get my head around it. And there's so many questions I want to ask, really. I mean, I'm disappointed in Chelsea, and I will get to that. But I want to ask a question to Arsenal. Do you really think you deserve to be in a league like this? You know, you are below teams like West Ham, Everton, Leicester. You're on the same amount of points as Leeds, who are newly promoted to this league and have played a game more than Leeds, may I add, as well. Do you really think you've earned the right for that? Spurs, who have just sacked Jose Mourinho, and I think we may even see more news about more sackings of managers following this as well. Do you really think that Spurs have earned their right to be in this league? They got knocked out in the Europa League round of 16 to Dynamo Zagreb. I mean, I know with the English league, the 3 teams who really drove this idea forward were Man United in particular, Joel Glazer, who's a vice chairman in this new league now. We've also got FSG, highly involved, and of course Stan Kroenke and Arsenal. Chelsea and Man City, for what I know, were almost backed in a corner and they joined by pressure. They were a bit reluctant to join. Why do you even think about joining? It's cowardly. It's cowardly to even think to even join this league. You know what they could have done? They could have made a huge stand and said, you know what, we're not joining this league, we're staying in the Premier League. You know, it would have been really unfair for the teams, you know, for them to stay, you know, it would be very, very one-sided. But at least they'll still embrace what football is all about. For the teams that are not as fortunate as the others to have a chance to play against the bigger teams, really. And that's just talking about the Premier League. I'm not even talking about the Championship, League One, League Two, National League, Grassroots. Because if you don't know how money works in football, so we've got TV licenses that broadcast Premier League games, and that money and that revenue gets generated mostly on Premier League clubs, and I would argue it should be spread more evenly around the leagues, but most of it to Premier League clubs, and all that money is distributed down to help the teams in the Championship, League One, League Two, National League, and then eventually Grassroots as well. This act of treason from these 6 teams, especially in the UK, is that they do not want their revenue being taken to support all these teams in the grassroots. They say, and they're trying to sugarcoat it, that they're going to try and generate more funds for those fans. Can I be honest with you? How much of those funds are they actually going to give away? You know, it's a money grab. You know, the amount of money that they're going to get provided by JP Morgan to try and supply this is billions. Billions. It's a complete money grab. And what's really disappointing for the English clubs in particular, for me, they don't even have the right to even try and do something that's going to help themselves financially. With the Spanish and the Italian clubs, I do have a bit more sympathy for them. Real Madrid have been struggling financially as they've tried to refurbish the Bernabeu. Barcelona are over 1 billion in debt, so I do sympathise with them a little bit, but still pretty inexcusable. Serie A, I know Juventus have been struggling financially. Inter Milan, their owners, who have previously owned the Chinese Super League champions, have gone bust, so they're struggling, and AC Milan have also been struggling as well. But those 5 teams I've just mentioned there, they could have been supported with grants, loans. They really could have been supported either other way. And did Tottenham just grab a loan as well? So Tottenham don't need any funds. You know, Tottenham don't need any funds. They've just been provided with some financial support. And now they're going to an entirely different league, using that money. You know, they're just giving 2 fingers up to the people who've just given them this money. And I cannot actually process this. I am so angry. I'm really holding my tongue right now. You can see I'm shaking. I'm actually fuming at all of this. I remember watching the news. I had to stay up late. I was doing university work. I was watching the TV, and when I saw the big breaking news pop up on Sky Sports, honestly, my heart sank. And I almost started crying, you know, and it sounds really over-exaggerated. And I think a lot of these people may criticize people like me and other people speaking out saying that we're being over-passionate, over-exaggerated. But we're only being this way because football is life. And what this has shown in the modern game, in the modern culture, the shifting culture, football is now a business. And that is honestly what I wanted to kick out of football, really. Football is life. It's not all about financial power. It's not about the richest club being the best. It's about all the teams having a chance to be the best. You know, Chelsea were a team that were never the best until we got a bit fortunate for the fact we got a fantastic owner in Abramovich pumping up loads of money with the quality. But eventually, whilst we've had the work backed up with the money, we've earned the right to win those titles, Champions Leagues, FA Cups. We are in the Champions League semi-final for the first time in 7 years. We are in an FA Cup final, the 4th FA Cup final we've been in the last 5 years. And for the fact that all of that can be diminished, and they're still going ahead with this, I am absolutely just completely lost for words for the fact that they are willing to stay ahead with this. They want to work the Premier League, and what they'll try to do, they'll try and find a way to manipulate the Premier League, and they'll force them in staying to this league, and they'll still play Premier League football along with the European Super League, which is a new midweek competition which will completely destroy the Champions League, the Europa League and the European Cup for me. It will completely destroy that format, really. And already the consequences online, you know, players may not even be in World Cups. You know, do the players really want this? I'll really be interested to know if the players actually want this. And for the fact we've already seen Jose Mourinho left, and I mean, obviously that could have been due to recent performances. This was the man who took a Porto side, complete underdogs, to win a Champions League. Literally, that is the biggest insult, really, for the fact that they have tried to get rid of all of these miracle stories. And they're trying to make themselves seem invincible from all of that. A close league, no one could get relegated. It's 10 teams per league. Top 3 automatically get in line to try and win the competition. 4th and 5th of those 2 leagues fighting a playoff, and then you get a quarter-final round. I hate this format. They are Americanizing the game we know and love in football that's been around for centuries. And honestly, just what this feels like to me, you know, when you've got parents that, you know older music or whatever, and you play, I don't know, like a new Drake album or a Rihanna album or a Travis Scott track, and they say, what is this rubbish? This is what I'm feeling right now. And it's almost like back in our 2000s days, you know, where we listened to, I don't know, I'm just naming names here, Katy Perry, Rihanna, you know, Green Day, all of those artists. And then you see younger people listen to things like Billie Eilish, and we're thinking, what on earth are you listening to? And that is literally what this is. It's changing the culture. And you can argue that we're really trying to hold onto something that you could argue I should have been changed ages ago. But honestly, football needs change, but not that change. I'm lost for words. I've never stuttered so much in this video because I don't want to blurt out so many bad things, because I'm really trying to hold my tongue here. I'm really disgusted with Man United as well, for the fact that Joel Glazer is one of the chairmen as well. I know he had a big active part in it, but for the fact that, you know, they take European competition so seriously. You know about the tragedy in 1959 where players unfortunately lost their life travelling back from a European competition to play what looked like a meaningless league game. But they fulfilled the fixture because they looked at every single game being important. And what this shows is really the team's lack of appreciation for the other teams in the Premier League wanting to break away into a league and are still willing to go ahead, for what I know, despite the Premier League sanctioning that they will be removed. For the fact they still want to go ahead, I mean, it's absolutely embarrassing, really. And honestly, if it means that we're going to need 6 teams going up for the Championship to the Premier League, I'm all for it. If we're going to see teams like Leicester and then West Ham another year win, I'm all for it. But how selfish is that? You know, for teams like Brentford, who've never been to the Premier League, no doubt in their mind, they would want to be wanting to play a team like Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and for the fact that they would not be able to get that chance because of selfishness for those clubs to grab money when they can. I am disgusted at that, really. And you know what? There is a lack of appreciation for the lower leagues as well. There's players in the National League getting furloughed over this, really. Dover Athletic have had their season completely replenished and voided for the fact they couldn't play enough games, for the fact that they had financial issues. Dulwich Hamlet have been having issues recently for their finances. Bath City have also had issues with their finances recently. Swindon Town have been having problems in League One recently about their finances. The problem is everywhere. Those are the clubs that you could understand that desperately need the money. But those 6 teams, get out of it. They do not need this new shift of money. You know what? It says a European Super League. As of now, only 3 countries are being represented. I mean, what on earth is this? And also, it sounds like that they're not going to be playing at their home grounds. I think away grounds, you know, they could be moving to places like Istanbul, Turkey, USA, South America. My only regret, really, is that as a Chelsea fan, I've never been to a single Chelsea game. And for the fact that if I do go to a Chelsea game, it'd be meaningless of our history. It's absolutely disgusting. I honestly feel betrayed. I really do. And I feel bad, and I feel so angry with myself that I didn't, you know, try and act sooner to get a game, to actually be to a game, whether it was an FA Cup game against Bradford, whether it was a League Cup game against Grimsby Town. Either way, it would have had a meaning. There would have been a thrill to win. And the fact that I've not been to a single Chelsea game, and for the fact that we may lose the value of what winning is and what losing a game is, you know, it's fake. It's a franchise. We are no longer an English football club. We are a global football club. That's what Chelsea Football Club is. You might as well literally change the badge, change the name of Chelsea. You know, we're not Chelsea FC anymore. Yeah, that's completely changed. And I just feel so betrayed and so let down for the fact that there are fans who would die to not only play for the squad, but to watch one game. I would die to watch a Chelsea game. But I would want it with some meaning, whether it's an FA Cup third round, whether if it's a League Cup quarter final, whether it's a Premier League game that decides us top 4 or a title, or even a Premier League game that, you know, decides that we won't get relegated. I would rather see Chelsea relegated than this. I honestly would actually take all of that. You know, if Chelsea Football Club were to die, which God forbid, I'd rather that, you know, we would die trying our damnedest to try and save it. What this is not a football club. A football club, what's so good about it? It's life. You know, you have its ups and downs, its vulnerabilities, but its emotions and its elations of winning. And you see the unbelievable stories of Sheffield United and Bournemouth rising up the leagues recently. Those stories are just being completely undermined here. Going back to the selfishness of grabbing all this money and distributing it unfairly as well. We've lost Bury Football Club last year to this, and I'm still heartbroken to this day. And do you know what? What a big insult this is to the 12 founding members of the English Football League. Do you know who the 12 founding members are? I guarantee you, if I asked a newer football fan, not just a newer football fan around the world, but a newer football fan in England, I bet you they couldn't even name more than 2 the original founding members. And I'll tell you, 5 of them are in the Premier League, and none of them are in this Super League. The actual 5 in the Premier League are Aston Villa, Burnley, Wolverhampton Wanderers, West Brom and Everton. So those are the 5 teams in the Premier League that actually revolutionised the English Football League. Without them, we wouldn't have this. Without them, we wouldn't have this. In the Championship, we've got 4 teams that were the original founding members. Preston being one of them. Derby being one of them. Blackburn and Stoke being the other 2 Championship teams. And what's even worse though, 3 of those teams are not even in the top 2 tiers of English football. Accrington and Bolton being 2 of them still in the English football pyramid. What's really sad, Notts County, the oldest football club ever, are one of the founding members of the English Football League, is no longer in the football pyramid. They got relegated 2 years ago. And just what does that say to those teams really, that without them this wouldn't exist? These are the 6 richest teams really, and it's a business. And I'm honestly disgusted by it. With the TV licenses, they're going to need those TV licenses to fund this bloody thing. So it means less games may be broadcasted to the Premier League. Even less, will go to the Championship. And those TV licenses are so important to the Championship for some teams, you know. And even less to the lower leagues as well. I'm just honestly so frustrated, angry, upset. And I'm glad I'm not alone in this, because if I was alone in this, I'll be a bit more scared to voice my opinion. But I'm going to. We need to change. We need to make a statement to try and reverse all of this. And we've got the power of the fans. What I really hope these owners do is that they listen and they remember what this club means. And unfortunately, whilst many of those owners who are from America may not care and may not even realise the value of British football, then leave, honestly. Leave and honestly get your money elsewhere, because we don't need you. Football is life, and football doesn't discriminate like you guys are right now. Picking 15 so-called rich teams and only allowing 5 to qualify. I mean, how on earth are you going to do that as well? I'm just honestly, the amount of segregation there is really, really, really upsetting me, really. We could see a civil war take place in football in the next coming of days, so it's going to be interesting. So beware, everyone. Make sure you use your voice. Everyone watching this video has an important part. If you want to spread the message, share this video, like this video, subscribe if you haven't done. You know, I will offer more of this content for you guys. But share this video, share the message. Offer your opinions. People who have not spoken out, speak out. Now is the time where you've got to save the one thing that has saved so many people mentally from this COVID-19 pandemic. Sport in general has been a lifesaver. Do not take their life and soul away for the sake of rich, greedy idiots. That is all I've got to say. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary for the end of this video. And as always, take care, everyone.